Good morning, everyone. I'm Arlin, and today the topic I'm going to talk about is beach rock as a keystone habitat for amphibious sea snakes. First, let me introduce what is amphibious sea snake. Amphibious sea snakes are snakes that spend time in the ocean and on land. They also called sea criss, sea snakes of the genus Leptocota. They seeking food at sea, but move to the shore of coral islands to digest and breed. The sea criss group consists of at least 8 species. Sea criss shows a strong philopatry, which means the tendency of an organism to stay in or habitually return to a particular area. If their usual habitats are destroyed, the capacity of finding new habitats will be limited. The shelter must be thermally buffered and humid enough in order to maintain their physiological function. And thermal buffer is a space that reduces the heating on another space located between the space and the exterior. The aim of this study is to provide the first detailed data on the habitat requirements of 2 species of sea criss. And this is Leptocota leptocata and Leptocota centaurensis, and provide a robust foundation for the conservation of their habitat. And in the end, we will provide a proposal for the sea criss conservation plan. We study their habitat in New Caledonia, which has a well-preserved coral reef ecosystems, and the islands around it is our main study area. And we focus on the habitat. The terrestrial habitat that sea criss will active in. And this is Signal Island. It has complex and large beach rocks field in its west coast. And this is our study focus. The coastline of the study islands were classified into 4 main types, and mobile beach rocks and beach rock slab. The difference between these two is the slab is too big that you can move it. And mobile beach rock you can remove it. Rock cliff and sandy beach. Habitat assessment will estimate the proportion of each island shoreline that consists of sandy beaches versus other types of potential habitat. In environmental thermal conditions, we measure the thermal parameters of the various potential microhabitats. The sea criss determine their preference. And we observe sea criss by lifting rocks. You can click in each rock and to check if any sea criss to see if any sea criss appear. We captured all the sea criss and determined their species, sex, and age. Each bee rock lifted was also measured along its 3 dimensions. On Signal Island, the Leptocota centaurensis were found around the whole coastline and regularly spotted in the island's interior, typically along tourist pathway. In contrast, Leptocota leptocata were only found on the west coast where beach rock occurred. And such distribution suggests a strong association between the structure of the habitats and the occurrence of the sea criss. If beach rocks smaller than 20 centimeters are excluded, there was a positive relationship between beach rock size and probability of finding a snake. There was also a positive relationship between beach rock size and the number of sheltered snakes. However, the largest rocks didn't shelter the highest number of snakes. The distribution of snakes are not uniform. They showed preference for sheltering under several particular beach rocks. And these suggests that the rock size was not only characteristic determining the sea cray's preference. And knowing the importance of temperature, the temperature for reptiles, we examine the thermal characteristic of the beach rocks. We compare the thermal profiles of snakes' model position in the open versus those placed in different potential shelters or in seawater. Snakes cannot remain for long in the open during a day, and their level body temperature is about 40 degrees Celsius. The figures below are thermal conditions recorded in the main types of microhabitats available on the west shore of Signal Island. And this figure A is temperature recorded in the open. The x-axis is time of the day, and y is temperature. And the dashed line is snake's overheating limit. As we can see, it is too hot in the open for snake. This one is recorded under the beach rock above the high tide limit. And the place remains dry, but still show a high temperature. Figure C is recorded in seawater. And D is under beach rock in the intertidal zone. And this place, these rocks tend to mirror the thermal profiles of the seawaters. They are similar. Figure E is under big rock boulders, which means big rocks, just big. Figure F is inside a silver burrow, in case you don't know this. And both big rock and silver burrow are both thermally buffered. And figure E and F are places where snakes appear the most. And now we have a conclusion that thermal characteristics also determine sea cray's preference. Our analysts clearly indicate that the structure of terrestrial coastline microhabitats plays a key role in the distribution of different species of sea crays, and the following are habitat requirements for different species of sea crays. The data only found where beach rock occurred, while St. Laurence has a vast array of terrestrial shelters, and the Dakota has higher risk in dehydration. It also shows a great degree of philopatry. The fields of beach rocks extending from the intertidal zone to 10 to 20 meters level above the tide mark are the most important refuge for both species. Beach rocks are a key terrestrial habitat for both species of sea crays. And unfortunately, on many tropical islands, tourism is central to local economies, and sandy beaches are far more attractive to tourists than rocky areas. Areas of beach rock and artificial concrete crust are viewed as eyesores. However, on several islands, the Dakota data is concentrated in small artificial areas such as concrete blocks and that stabilize the seawalls. If we remove these concrete blocks there, just to remain a more natural look, will cause a disappearance in Dakota data. Not only it is essential to conserve beach rocks, but enhancement of available habitats is also conceivable. We propose several simple and relatively inexpensive actions that can be applied across a range of secrets. One, protect the beach rock field where population of sea cliffs occur, and two, a prohibition on lifting beach rocks. For example, for signal harvesting is required because the hunters do not move rocks carefully and do not replace them. 3, restrict tourism operation in areas used by sea cliffs at dusk. And 4, the value of artificially created beach rocks for sea cliffs needs to be more fully understood by further study. 5, field-based educational programs are required to explain to people the need to conserve both habitats. The sea cliffs played a major role in the functioning of reef ecosystem in New Caledonia because they have a strong influence on large communities of more than 50 species of predatory fish. The protection of beach rocks situated in the intertidal zone is likely to be beneficial for a vast assemblage of other organisms besides the sea cliffs. And in Caledonia, few islands are protected for nature conservation. Our data enable local authorities to justify the urgent conservation of the rocky shores or islands against the march of tourism development. Thank you.
Monica.
Why do you choose these two kinds of snake to do the experiment?
Why we choose these two kinds of sea snakes to do experiment? It's because in Caledonia, most appear has these two kinds are mostly observed in New Caledonia Island, the Signal Island.
Alisha.
What is a signal area?
Excuse me?
Signal area.
What's your question again?
The map. You have the map that. Could you explain the signal island?
Oh, Signal Island.
Yeah.
What was the question?
She wants to know what is Signal. It is a place. It has the most complex and shore along its west than other islands around, and so we provide a suitable habitat for both two kinds of species. Okay. So we choose it as our main research area and use it to find the distribution of these two kinds of sea snakes in a larger geographic scale.
Vivian.
In this map, so you do your experiment is all the sites you put in this map or the signal area?
She wants to know if we only choose Signal Island or we do study on all these islands, right? We do the study on all these islands, but Signal Island is our main research papers here.
Jenny.
Page 40. Page 40. How do you determine the overheating limit?
It is from another.
What's the question?
How do we determine overheating limit? This limit is from other research. So maybe this is. Okay. And I think it's from other research there. You just correct.
Eden.
Page 11.
And 11.
Slide 11. You say you have a positive relation. How do you know you have a positive relationship?
What was his question?
He wants to know how do we know there's a positive relationship. We just we leave the beach rock. We leave almost every beautiful beach rock on the shores, and we measure its length, its height, and its width, and we capture sea snails appear on the rock. So we have a very detailed.
You have a chart of
The chart is, I didn't put it in it's hard to read it. Nina, sorry.
Can we go to page 24? How do you know the results between these two species?
And repeat, how do we know all difference between these two species? And some are like the appearance is from our own research, and these two is from other research. Other systems. This one is our own research.
Ethan.
So in your some temperature into the habitats the chart and enter to the result like this. So why how do you detect the temperature then? Why the temperature has the error bar?
Why we detect
How
do we detect the temperature and why it has error bars?
Yeah.
We just we have those like snake models. We just
I see you have the numbers.
yeah.
Do you have a short answer?
No, sir.
So first of all, I think in general, her slides are, most of them are easy to read, but some of them are quite wordy. So especially the last few slides where you talk about proposal for secret conservation plan, that was really wordy. So I'm hoping that next time you can condense your proposals to one slide, because this will be a little bit like the implication, or application 应用 of your study. And ideally, I hope that you can place more focus on your data. And then that actually leads us to Ethan's question. He asks why there's a positive relationship. I think there's a positive relationship because there are data. Something like that. So because there are not so many figures in this paper, I hope that next time you can present these two figures. Yeah, because these are real data. And these kind of statements, like positive relationship, they are not data. They are observations. So you should show the data first, talk about the observation, and maybe talk about the meaning of the observation. That would be the order of presentation. Yeah. And she had a very clear purpose slides, which has been missing in many of previous talks. That was nice. But are you right-handed or left-handed? Right. Yeah, because you were at some point you were like this. You see? When you are using your left hand. So I hope that next time you can do it like this. Okay? And if at some point you want to compare these two species, usually I told student presenter, it's better to give them nicknames, such as white, yellow, right? Otherwise, they have no meaning to us. In fact, this kind of names, they are difficult to remember. So it's always good to give them nicknames. And here, and you have tried to explain some difficult words like this and that. That was really nice. However, the explanatory sentences are themselves long and not that easy to read. So if possible, try to explain in your own words. That will make things easier. Like a philopatry. That means the snake always wants to go back to their own home again and again. The same home, right? That's easy explanation. And then when presenting the data, you see you have only 3 boxes, but you have a lot of lines when presenting this one. So it's always good to print keywords, like a temperature logger, 3 consecutive days measurement, and so on. And habitat assessment, including liftable blocks or other blah, blah, blah. You just print keywords. No need to print complete sentence, okay? And usually in formal talk, please avoid abbreviations like weren't, which has been seen many times, didn't, don't. So these for spoken language, but not for formal slides. And I like the way she presented her figure. It's super large, super comfortable for me to read. And if possible, maybe you can print, here you say, in case you don't know what seabird burrow is, you can actually make this one smaller and put this always somewhere, maybe cover the F, right? So that would be one way to do that. And then you have to know that we are actually now remembering this A, B, C, D, E, F. So ideally, you should, instead of figure D, E, F, you should tell us what kind of habitat. And next time, please condense the proposals and give us a conclusion slide, which should be mainly based on the data, the main observation, and main interpretation. Okay, but overall, I think it's a very fluent talk, a very calm talk, so let's thank Arlin.